Our brains will always prioritize short-term reward. That's why even when we know what we should be doing, we avoid it. It's a conflict in the brain. We want rest right now. We want something easy, but we also know we should be using this time to do something productive. That's the conflict that exists inside the brain. So, how do we fix this? The first step is understanding the brain more. The brain is not the enemy, it's actually doing a really good job of conserving energy. If there was a magical button you could press that would give you everything you wanted, the brain would motivate you to press that button. So, what it's doing is always looking for this button. What can I do that is easy, that can make me feel good? It wants little effort with maximum gain. All our goals, the things we want to do, such as being healthier, starting a business, getting a promotion, these require a lot of effort right now with a very small chance of payoff later. So when the brain sees this, it asks us a question. Will this feel good right now? Is it worth it to do this right now? And most of the time, the answer is no. And that's when we procrastinate. The brain wants to make sure we don't spend our valuable time doing things that don't feel good. But we live in a world where things that feel good end up being a waste of time, like junk food, doom scrolling. The brain doesn't understand that these are not good things. It feels like these are things that with low effort give us maximum gain. That is why we are attracted to doing it. Procrastination is simply a symptom. We need to find the deeper cause. The first trigger of procrastination is that the steps are unclear. The brain doesn't know if this button would give it a reward. So you need to be very clear on why this is important. If you can write it down, if you can spend time defining why this matters, then the likelihood of you doing it in the future will be clearer. The brain needs to learn that this step is important. It has spent years learning through reinforcement that this step is unimportant. Let's take an example. If someone only brushes their teeth in the morning and doesn't do so at night, they cannot just wake up the next day and begin brushing their teeth twice a day. The brain, over years, has been reinforced that brushing your teeth once a day is enough. So you need to spend a long amount of time teaching your brain why it's important to brush your teeth before you sleep. It's always going to fight back because it's had years of programming to teach it that once a day is fine. So you need to undo this by adding hours and hours and hours of teaching your brain the alternative. And this is the same thing with any step or new habits. The second trigger of procrastination is high effort. We overestimate how much effort a task takes when all we need to do is simply begin. So instead of thinking this would take so much time, we need to begin with the lowest possible effort because we have momentum on our side. Once you start and complete something small, it becomes slightly easier to do the next thing. So don't see a task as one big task. Always try to break it down into small, tiny chunks. Another trigger is the risk of failure. If it didn't bring results yesterday, why would the brain want to do it today? So you need to tell your brain, we didn't fail yesterday, we need progress. You need to define what progress looks like. Most of the time, we've taught our brain that the final result is the most important thing. So we need to unlearn this and teach our brain that progress comes from simply completing the task. We can do things simply for the sake of completing the task. The fourth trigger is delayed reward. We don't fully control this. Instead of focusing on the end reward, we need to focus on the reward of doing the task. Instead of thinking, I will lose weight if I walk, we need to think, if I walk, I will feel better today. I will get sunlight. I would enjoy moving my body. That's how you hack the brain. The last trigger is discomfort. The brain is always predicting discomfort. It's a prediction machine. It says doing this would feel uncomfortable. So we need to tell our brain not doing this is more uncomfortable. Not making the bed feels worse than making it. So through repetition, we can actually see this. This is why it's automatic to clean ourselves while using the restroom, because we know if we leave the restroom without cleaning ourselves, that is more uncomfortable. So we can take that process and apply it anywhere. Teach your brain that not doing this is more uncomfortable than doing this. It will take a lot of time. It is not easy, but it's worth the reward. Procrastination is simply a survival technique. And the more you procrastinate, the stronger it gets. Through neuroplasticity, you can change this. Track your progress, track your days, let your brain visibly see your wins, and it learns not to procrastinate, but these things actually give you some kind of reward. Once your brain sees this as a good thing, it stops fighting against you. Take a look in the description below for the app I'm building called Zendu to make your progress more visible.